You got 2 point guards to pick. You got Parker and who else? Vinny Del Negro.
A lot of people like
Avery Johnson.
Vinny Del Negro wasn't a power.
He was a 2. He was a 2. I saw Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson was a point.
Yeah, he was. He wouldn't be on that list though.
Oh wow. Jay the historian and shit. 1934, the ABA Spurs.
I know Gervin's on your list somewhere.
Yeah.
Had a little known Ron Bell.
It's actually not that hard because you just gotta bump certain niggas that you would normally start.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. I just drew down. I drew down every player from each position that I knew and just started crossing names off who I could live without until I got to 2 of each, And then the starting and the fucking backup was the hard part. But yeah, Jay undercut me. Jay severely damaged my squad,
You damaged your own squad. You made the rules. You the one that tried to switch it up on us.
I said in their prime. That's what I said, in their prime. I didn't say
in their prime for your team, yeah.
For our squad. Fuck does that even mean, man? Like, in their prime for your team.
But look at Barkley with the Rockets. He was past his prime, but he was in your prime on the Suns. So you would put Barkley on your Suns team, correct?
Yeah, but that means a person who was playing with the Rockets wouldn't be able to use him. Or they would. They would just have to use them.
But you could a lesser version of them.
Oh God!
You're not starting Shaq on the Cavs. Or the Boston Celtics, or even
Sexton is at his worst. At his worst, where we got Shaq, he's still one of our top setters ever.
Well, that's why I didn't mention the Suns, because the Suns, he actually wasn't terrible.
He wasn't all-star. He was an all-star
great. He just wasn't great either, though.
No, he wasn't great, but he could give you spurts. He played in spurts.
He played better than a lot of people thought he would.
Yeah. All right, let's start this thing. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to the Surrender Table podcast again. We are not live and direct. We're recording. We're simulcast. But we're gonna
fucking ColecoVision.
Yeah, we're gonna get this show on the road, obviously, and take you through the next hour or so, whatever, of sports-related topics, and of course, the shit that matters to us. And we're gonna, get the ball rolling, man. Try to be in and out in a flash. You know what I mean? Give you your news and get you the fuck out of here. Bye, nigga. So, I'm your host, Cream, of course. My man to the left of me right here is gonna be T Nice, and down below, late, didn't show up on time, is my man Bad Lizzie.
A minute. I was 1 minute late.
It's kind of a minute and 47 seconds actually hinging on 2, but either way. Listen, we're gonna get the show started. Our first topic, obviously, we're gonna open up with is gonna be the COVID vaccination that's become readily available to some regular ass niggas, such as the nigga on the left of me who actually has gotten the first dose. He's gonna talk about his experience, because I know last week when we were on the show, Tom had a brush cut. Now all of a sudden this nigga got a motherfucking he got dreads almost now and shit. So is the vaccine responsible for his rapid hair growth? I don't
know. if so, somebody needs to send LeBron some of that shit.
Hey, LeBron
be drinking out of a fucking gallon jar. That shit.
What up, Drew?
Yeah, that shit, the Hamptons and shit.
Yeah, the little gerbil bottle.
Yeah,
that metal tip.
Yeah, with the little metal ball inside.
Exactly. So we'll talk about, obviously, his experience with it, how it came to be, and everything else that's related to that. Our main topic today is going to be a good one. It's going to be us putting together our best starting 5 and bench of our personal teams, which would be me for the Spurs, Tom for the Knicks, and, of course, Dave for the Suns. So our all-time starting 5, plus a bench, plus a coach of all time, and seeing how those teams would either fare up against each other, or whose team you think is probably the best one, I guess. I don't know. What do you think, Dave? Yeah? Kind of maybe up against. Or just putting our best.
That's for the people. That's for the people to decide.
Yeah, let them decide that aspect of it. So that's going to be our main topic, and of course, our closer may be the end of our show as we know it. where we're going to talk about our women in general. Should chicks be allowed in our phones? You know, us as men, we're men. You know, we're men, and as a man, you know, this my phone. You got your phone. I got my phone. What you want to see my phone for? Why? What you want to see my phone for? It's my phone. So anyway, it's funny because I ran down the topics list because my wife usually asks me like every like before the episodes and stuff like that or whatever. She's like, "Oh, so what's gonna be on the podcast for today?" I told her about this topic. She was like, "Oh, you about to have a special guest today?" I said, So don't be surprised if somebody shows up in the middle of the podcast. We'll try to keep it quiet.
I'll be sitting and walking down the back of the steps behind you. I'm like, "Oh, time to go, guys."
I got the camera angle just in case she try to sneak down, you know, where the camera won't catch her. But anyway, we'll talk about that obviously, and you know, debate on whether it's a necessity, whether you know all of that good stuff that goes along with why you want to be in my phone, what you looking for in my phone, huh? Oh, okay, all right. So anyway, let's get started. We're gonna move right into it, yo. Let's go with our first topic, which is gonna be the vaccine. Tom, I know you can take this away better than I can because I ain't get it. I ain't got it. Don't know if I'm getting it, but go.
Okay, so I got the first dose of the vaccine on Tuesday. Signed up. I don't have a website in front of me, but I'm sure you can Google it. It's a website that New Jersey offers. You can go and you can sign up. They ask you your name, your phone number, your email, any health addictions or any health conditions you have or afflictions or past health issues.
Right.
Then they're like, "Oh well, we don't have anything available." I did this about a month and a half ago. They were like, "Oh, we don't have anything available." I'm like, "All right, cool." But then I would get emails like every other day, like, "Oh yeah, we'll keep you informed. Then I got a text on Sunday. "Yeah, we have some vaccine spots opening up for you." I'm like, "Oh, word." So I went to the site on a text message. They sent you a link and I signed up for it and I got it on Tuesday. I ended up getting it at the Expo Center at Raritan Center.
Right.
You go, there's like people outside, like what time's your appointment? Mine was 10:50. I got there like 10:30. I got there early. They're like, "Oh, there's really nobody here. Come on inside." So you go in, and it's like a line. It's like a little maze. You go, you pre-register, you get a my ID. They ask you, "Is this your first dose or your second dose?" My first. Then you go to like this registration table.
Right.
And this guy, first of all, there's people there like this. I guess Army Reserves. There's people like in the military like helping out.
Right.
Taking your information. They ask for your insurance card or whatever. They're like, "All right, here, take this and go to that line over there." So you go to that line. Then you go to like another cubicle that's down the way. And then it's a guy in a cubicle. He gives you the vaccine. He's like,
Right.
"All right, cool. So this is what you do. So if you need help scheduling your second appointment, first you gotta go to this area. It's like a containment area. I guess it's like observation. They gotta observe you for 15 minutes to see,
Okay.
if you have any bad reactions or whatever. So a guy comes. They're like, "Hey, you need any help? You need any help scheduling your second appointment?"
You got it.
Right.
You need help scheduling your second appointment. And you'd be like, "No," because you get a text literally right after you get your first dose, you get a text message saying, "Oh, here, schedule your next appointment." And I got my next appointment for March 9th, which is exactly 3 weeks later.
That's for the second dose. For the second.
Second dose, yeah.
Right.
So it's pretty seamless. It was pretty easy. The guy who gave me the vaccine told me that a week before the wait was 5 hours.
Damn.
I was out there in less than a half hour, and that's including the 15-minute time I waited.
Damn.
So it's pretty seamless. It's pretty easy. I had a side effect. I had like pain where they injected it for like a day or two, but it's went away. I'm good now.
Yeah.
I'm good. So yeah,
that's what's up.
I'm good. Yeah.
So what was the because I know there's a lot of people out there that might want to know how you got selected. I mean, obviously, was because of the fact that you were a smoker, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you got to kind of cut the line in that respect or whatever. And it's funny because now once I heard your story, I talked to other people that knew about the fact that like smokers were being given the opportunity to get the vaccine first before a lot of other people or whatever that didn't have the same health risks or whatever because of the fact that they feel like that your I guess respiratory system is compromised in that regard or whatever. What's the and again, everybody has their opinion on it or whatever. You know, technically, it's correct, even though it's a personal choice to smoke. But you know, at the end of the day, it still does put you at risk. When you signed up to smoke, you didn't know COVID was going to be a reason to possibly take you out because your respiratory system was at risk. So you shouldn't technically be penalized for that. That's how I have to kind of look at it because a lot of people be like, well, damn, they chose to smoke, so my healthy person over here that might get COVID doesn't get the opportunity to get the vaccine before somebody who put themselves at risk or whatever. But technically, you knew you were putting yourself at risk for other maybe issues or whatever the case may be that you already know on the Surgeon General's warning. But, you know, COVID was not one of those things. So,
no.
So, I mean, I don't think it's wrong. I don't know if it's 100% right either, but, you know, that's subjective. That's the world we live in or whatever. You know, you can't please everybody. So it is what it is. But, hey, man, I'm glad you're thriving. I mean, that so far so good at this point in time. There's been very minimal deaths or fatalities in regards to it. Dave might have those numbers more so than I do because I think he talked about it at one point in time about how many people may have died from taking the vaccine. And I don't even know if it was related to the vaccine, to be honest with you. It could have.
No, it was more related. It was more related to fear about the vaccine and fear of that shit than I think vaccine itself. Most of the deaths that have been reported have been like old and they've been like single digits.
Yeah.
Like when I'm not single digit number, total overall
number.
Yeah,
numbers.
So when you're talking about distributing 30 million doses and only having like 5-6 deaths, dude, I'll take that number any day of the fucking week.
Oh, no question about it. No question. Nah, I mean, I kid you not, and you know me, like when we first started this whole conversation about when there was going to be a vaccine and all this stuff or whatever, I was 100% like, yo, I'm not taking the shit, bro, period. But then you start thinking about the reality of the situation as to where this whole situation is going to end up shaking out, where like, and somebody brought it to me, it might have been one of y'all, or it might have been in the chat that we're in, you know, discussing the whole situation. But if my son has to take that vaccine, how the hell am I going to say I'm not taking it? You know what I mean? Like, I have to take it then at that point in time, because at that point in time, if he's at risk, you know, getting it, I might as well put myself on the line as well. We all got to just deal with it. Because if my 4-year-old who's about to be 5, he's going to start kindergarten. If he has to take that vaccine in order for him to go to school, then, you know, well, then we all got to take it. So we all got to bite that bullet at that point in time. So, you know, I mean,
you got to remember, man, you got to remember something about vaccines, man. For every vaccine there is in the world, there was this stage of trepidation about taking that shit.
Of course.
More so got to be in 1918 when they had the first flu. You know what I mean? Back then, they had no kind of technology, no social media, none of this shit. You had to read about this shit in the newspaper and hope that the motherfucker writing it was right. You know what I mean? So, but what I could say is there's a shitload of diseases that probably would have ravaged this world to nothingness today if it wasn't for vaccines. So for anybody who's all like, yo, I'm an anti-vaxxer, I don't do vaccinations, I don't give vaccinations, I can guarantee you that your parents got vaccinated or someone in your line got vaccinated somewhere along the fucking lines from some disease which made you be here today. And that's just fucking straight fact. So I mean, there's gonna be anything, but I mean, nobody thinks about like the same shit when people are like, oh, you would take vaccines. These are the same people going to the store buying Tylenol off the shelf. Talking about I ain't putting no government drugs in my body, dumbass. Like, yo, what the fuck, yo? You put somebody drugs in your body, that's all that fucking matter, yo. So,
and it's funny because I'm one of those people that I don't take drugs like that, but you do when you have to. Like, let me have a bad toothache or something like that or whatever that I've had in the past where I had to have a tooth removed or something like that or whatever as a result of it. And let me tell you something, yo, them drugs. Whoo, they saved your life in the short term. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody ever had a bad toothache or whatever, but boy, yo, when you had that toothache and you rub up against that tooth by accident and it feels like it ravishes and shakes your whole earth. There's no pain worse than that outside of giving childbirth. I'm sure childbirth has got to be a lot more painful, but
who says?
Women, I would imagine. Shoot, I ain't getting started with that. Nah, no, I ain't going there.
I mean, they say. I mean, think about it. Women say it's painful, but we don't know as men.
So you think that women got together in like a whole secret society and was like, hey, let's tell the men this shit's painful so they feel bad for us and shit?
No, but take this into consideration. You play fighting with your girl or something, you grab a wrist. And you grab it where if you grab it, it's like, but she goes, ah. So the pain level's like down here. So having a baby could be like stubbing your toe. And she making it out to be like, a mountain fell on your ass.
I'll be honest with you. Look, the women that I've come across have a high threshold for pain.
How you know?
I don't.
There you go. See? Come on.
Well, how do we know on the other side then? How do we know on the other side?
We don't. I treat that like I treat everything until there's scientific hard science.
We just get it all from TV. Remember that episode of remember that episode of Fresh Prince when Viv went into labor and she ripped that pillow in half?
Yeah.
She wasn't even giving birth. She was just having contractions. She was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't deny that given childbirth, you probably have superpowers. You already have a being inside of you, so it's probably multiplying your strength. But I mean, like in terms of that, I mean that could be a whole another topic for a whole another day.
Yeah.
What's considered painful because pain is objective, yo. So, but anyway,
that's true. That's true.
But anyway, man. Moving on.
So yeah, listen, man. Listen, much respect.
Word.
Look, man, I'm happy that you got it. Hopefully, like I said again. So what are the what do we think the end result is gonna be with the vaccination? So we get to 60%, we get 50% vaccinated. Are we like mask free? Are we just going about our business or
no, I don't think until you can get to like 90-95% vaccinated would you be able to go truly mask free. And even then, I got
a feeling America would settle for 70. I think they would settle for 60.
That's 70. The number I saw, 70-75%.
Well, I mean, yeah, let's look at it this way though, right? I don't give a fuck from now to the day I die. I'm not entering a movie theater without a mask ever again.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Right, a restaurant, yes, because restaurants aren't that congested. You don't got 50 people within a 20-foot radius.
I was just at Waffle House. It was congested. All right. It's a small space.
All right, so hold on. Yeah, I'm about to say, Waffle House can be ran out of a fucking broom closet. So you can't count on Waffle House. Waffle House, you better be masked up.
I'm not even going to lie, I almost had an anxiety attack. Yeah, I almost had an anxiety attack walking in there. I was like, yo, this is fucking crazy. There's hella people right now. Like, yo,
I would have took my shit there. I would have took my shit to go and ate in the car.
I had to wait for it. No, I had to wait for. No, I mean it was a to-go order. I have not eaten in a restaurant since COVID. I have not been inside of a restaurant to eat since the virus happened. I've not been inside of a restaurant.
I've been in one. I've been in one restaurant.
And I was
I've been in one.
There was nobody in there.
Yeah.
Everybody was 6 feet apart.
Nah, they have it where like if you're in one booth, the booth that's behind you is vacant, and then the next booth has somebody in it. So
we also did an outdoor. We also did one of the outdoor, the tents, the plastic tents.
Yeah.
We did one of those too at Applebee's by my house in Clark.
Got you. See, I never liked it. I never liked the whole outdoor situation because it doesn't really change anything. All it means is that the person that's sitting across you 6 feet, he eats his food and sneezes and blows the shit in your fucking plate if the wind blows it right at you. Like, I don't get that. Like, it doesn't really make any sense to me. You're eating outside, but at the end of the day, the wind is going to take whatever he's got on his plate. Now it's on yours. If it blows in your direction, I'm not saying that that's likely to happen, but I'm not saying it can either. So there's just so many subjective ways that I get it. Everybody's got to make their money. So I'm not mad at the idea of doing it when the weather is good up here. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying there's a possibility that you're not stopping anything by being outdoors.
Yeah, I was so paranoid when I went in there. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this shit no more.
Yeah. So
I was just thinking, I felt uneasy.
So we're moving on. We're going to move on to our main topic, obviously the juicy part of it, which is going to be us assembling our rosters to show who the best players of our teams were in the starting five and a bench and coach situation there. So I'll start it because I know mine is a mess as of right now, but I'll start it just for the hell of it. And of course, we already know the majority of who's going to be on my list, but so Now I kind of broke it down more or less by era, I guess, but at least for my starting five anyway, my bench is obviously just a mixture of names. But so I took Tony Parker as my point guard. But I took Tony Parker from the 2012-2013 season. Which
you did it by year. Okay.
Yeah, I did
you did it by year. Oh,
yeah, I did it by
I was going through that too. I was going through that too, but I was like.
That was the year that was the first year. That was the first Miami Heat final where he was like on a tear. Like I think he was pretty much he was an MVP king. He was like top 3
He was
MVP
the best point
king.
guard in the league at that point.
Yeah, he was. He was the best point guard in the league that year. The Spurs obviously I think had the best record in the Western Conference. And as a result of it, obviously made it to the finals, lost to the Heat in 7 games. And so I took Tony Parker from that year as my point guard. My shooting guard, of course, George Gervin. His best year statistically and everything was 1979, 1980. That was his pretty much his best season as a Spur. And so I took him from that era. I took Kawhi Leonard from 2016 to 2017, which statistically for him was his best year pretty much because that was the year after Duncan had left. So like he was pretty much the main guy at that point in time.
That was that first year to be that main guy, yeah.
Yeah. He was averaging like 25, like almost 26 points a game. And that was the year that they went to the Western Conference Finals. He got hurt against the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals in game 1. We were up 25 points and we lost that game and got swept.
I remember watching that.
I was at Cracker Barrel watching the game on my phone, yo. We were up 25 points. We were up 25 points up until he stepped on Zaza Pachulia's bitch ass foot and ruined our whole franchise. He'd be a Spur today if that shit had never happened. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna put that out there. He'd be a Spur today. He'd be a Spur today if that had never happened. Huh?
Fuck Pachulia, man. Yeah.
That's what I said. That's what I said. But anyway, I took that Kawhi Leonard. I took Tim Duncan from his 2002-2003 MVP season. That was his best year by far. Obviously, it was our second championship as well that year. Tim Duncan was murdering niggas. He was double-double, and I'm not talking about like no regular double-double. It was like 27 points a game, freaking 13 rebounds, and I think he led the league in blocks that year as well.
That's powerful, whatever.
It was a murderous year. Not to mention he had a quadruple double in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Nets. Look it up. They don't give him credit for it, but he had a quadruple double in that game. He had like 11 rebounds. 11 blocks in that game. They only gave him credit for 8.
Oh wow! Oh, those statisticians.
Anyway.
Oh God.
At center, David Robinson. Of course, from the 93-94 season. That was the year before. That was the year before Hakeem Olajuwon used him as a rag doll. Yo, David Robinson got chewed up the year after that, though. But that was his MVP season right there, 93-94.
Roses are out, not the daisies.
God, I was just thinking of that.
That was I'm sorry, no, that was the year he got used as a ragdoll because they lost in the Western Conference Finals to the Houston Rockets, and the Rockets went on to the finals to play the Knicks that year. So, sixth man, of course, Manu Ginobili from 2007, 2008. That was the first year Pop asked him to go to the bench and sacrifice his starter's role to, help usher in the new talent because that bench was looking a little suspect. And as a result of it, they needed Manu Ginobili to come off the bench and add a little pop to the second team, which I'm going to be honest with you, yo. At that point in time, yo, Manu Ginobili was coming into his own. So to be selfless enough to make a move like that, there ain't too many superstars out there that's going to do that. And he was on the verge. He wasn't a superstar yet, but he was on the verge of a super. I don't think Manu Ginobili has ever been a superstar, but he's been a star in this league. Yeah. Superstar may be a little bit too much because superstars.
Ginobili, yeah, man. Ginobili's credited. Yeah. Isn't he credited with the fucking Eurostep? Like we're bringing that shit over here.
Yeah,
you hit superstar level when you come up with a move that's emulated by fucking damn near everybody now.
That is true. But I mean, it was a move. But at the end of the day, me as a Spurs fan, I can't look at Manu Ginobili as a superstar. Those terms are related to people like LeBron James and James Harden and those Kevin Durant. of the world or whatever, which Manu Ginobili has never been. And he could have been, but he was in a system situation where he didn't need to be that guy. So that was it. My bench players were LaMarcus Aldridge at center, Dennis Rodman at power forward, Bruce Bowen at small forward, Vinny Del Negro at shooting guard, and I picked George Hill as my point guard. George Hill was a very underrated point guard when he was with the Spurs. He made a lot of money going to Indiana and whatnot or whatever after the fact, but George Hill, is very underrated in his contributions to what he gave to the San Antonio Spurs organization while he was there. So that's my squad. Go. Who's next?
We know your coaches, obviously.
Oh yeah, Greg Popovich. I don't even think I needed to mention that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't even mention that one.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go next, guys. So I'm gonna start with my coach. I had two that I was gonna narrow it down between Westfall and Cotton Fitzsimmons. I went Fitzsimmons more because I became a Suns fan based on the teams he was coaching. Westfall didn't take over till like early 90s.
Right.
So even though he did get us to the finals, Fitzsimmons built the bones of that team. So if I was taking a coach, I'm taking Fitzsimmons. All right. I guess I'll start at my starting center. This one I had to flop back and forth on, but
Hot Rod.
Huh? Who? Oliver Green, guys. No, just kidding. No, just kidding, guys. Amari Stoudemire, of course. Duh. Amari Stoudemire. So Amari Stoudemire's averages while he was with us, 21.3 points, 8 boards, 1 assist a game. He was ended up being a 6-time NBA All-Star, 4-time All-NBA second team, All-NBA first team in 2007. Also Rookie of the Year. That was my starting center. Starting power forward, Tom Chambers, man. No, I'm just fucking with y'all.
I know he's on your bench, though. He's definitely.
He's not.
He's not?
He's not.
Okay.
No, he's not. Yeah. You'll see.
Y'all had him at the end of his career. He was with the Sonics first. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
All right.
So, power forward, obviously, Charles Barkley. I mean, I could sit here and read the resume, but that's gonna match like the length of one of our other podcasts.
Yeah.
I'll leave it as just his career averages: 22 points a game, 11.7 boards, 4 assists, 1 block. Surprisingly, from a 6'4" dude. Small forward, Shawn Marion. Hands down, probably the best three in our team's history. Definitely the most consistent. Couple of his notable achievements: 6-time NBA All-Star. Let's see here. Sorry, hold on 1 second. Sorry. There we go. He's a 4-time NBA All-Star, All-Rookie second team, 2-time All-NBA third team. Very instrumental in our early seasons and our early 2000 success. Definitely, any team that we had was usually structured around him. Going to starting shooting guard. This one I had problems with because we never really had good 2 guards in our I guess our team history.
Wasn't Cedric Sabalas a 2 guard?
Small. He was small. He was a 3. He bounced between 3 and 2.
Okay.
But anyway, so I had to go with basically Walter Davis. This dude's he played before my time. I remembered him vaguely when I was a kid, like him just finishing up his career with us. But he was averaging 19 points a game, 3 boards, 4 assists. He was a 6-time NBA All-Star, 1978 NBA Rookie of the Year, 2-time NBA All-Second Team, and one of 9 players to average 20 points a game 6 times in 10 years, or in a 10-year span. Let's see here. Then obviously probably the best player our team ever had, Steve Nash. 14 points a game, 3 boards, 8.5 assists. Remember, he played for us twice, actually, in 96 and 98, and then we traded him for Martin Mursep. Yeah, Martin Mursep. Martin Mursep, Bubba Wells, Pat Garrity, and a first-round pick.
Pat Garrity?
Pat Garrity.
Wow.
Wonder who won that trade.
Fuck Mark Cuban. Fuck Mark Cuban. Well, we did get Marion out of that.
I'm about to say Shawn Marion came back with him.
Yeah. Marion came out of that first round pick. So that was my starting 5. I didn't do a 6-man because I just did 5 bench instead of just doing 1 6-man. So I'll go in reverse order now. Actually, no, I'm going to go in the same order. So, backup center, Alvin Adams. This is literally the only other true center that I can find in our.
I'm about to say because y'all don't really play that traditional.
Yeah, I was gonna say
not
Shaq,
when you had your
Jay
most
wanted
success.
Jay wanted to get Mr. fucking technicality and shit. And
I mean,
fuck me up. I would have had Shaq, but
he played good for y'all though.
Huh?
Shaq played good for y'all though.
Shaq, I'm about to say Shaq did play well for y'all though. I'm not saying what did he average when he was with y'all? Can you look it up real quick? What Shaq averaged when he was?
Yeah,
I mean, coming off the bench, when your team is serviceable, but I wouldn't start him on your all-time team.
As a bench player, I would imagine he would be a pretty decent asset to you.
Well, he was coming off the bench that final year.
But when he first got there, he was a starter for y'all, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
He didn't start all season. Like I know he didn't start all season, but because I think he was a situational starter. Because remember, that was when D'Antoni was ushering in that whole new wave of basketball. He wanted to move the ball. So only when you had a true back to the basket center playing against Shaq that night. Other than that, he's a liability on the floor at that point.
Yeah, he averaged 17. He averaged 12.9 points off the bench for us the first year, and then the second year he started. He actually played 75 games. He averaged 17.8 points.
Not bad.
8 boards, 1 block.
And what year would this be? What year would that be?
That would have been 08-09.
So 08-09, you're moving away from the center role for the most part. Most teams are trying to go fast. So it's not one of those situations where you dumping the ball down to Shaq and waiting for him to pretty much get you a basket. So that's not how the game was going.
No, that was the last year that Shaq looked anything like the old Shaq.
Right.
That was literally the last year that happened. The following year, he followed it up with that stinker in Cleveland, and then went and fizzled out in Boston. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So anyway, Alvin Adams. Let me hop back to this real quick. Sorry. We drafted him. He actually played all 13 seasons, all 13 years with us. Here we go. Yeah, he played all 13 years with us, averaged 14 points a game, 7 boards, 4 assists. He was the NBA All-Star and Rookie of the Year in 1976. And made all-rookie first team, obviously. But really didn't do much else other than just anchor us. He was on that team that made it to the finals in 78 where we lost. That team with Gar hurt. He was starting then. Backup power forward, Larry Nance. Larry Nance, during his time with us, averaged 17.1 points, 8 boards, 2 blocks. He was a 3-time NBA All-Star, NBA All-Defensive First Team twice, 2 NBA All-Defensive Second Teams, and the NBA Slam Dunk Contest champion, which don't mean shit, but I had to put it up there. All right. Small forward. This one, I flip-flopped a lot between Sabalas and a couple other guys. Marley, I wasn't sure if you could squeeze Marley into forward. When he was drafted to us, he was forward, but he ended up playing 2 guard.
Right.
But anyway, I didn't put him in. The dude I ended up choosing was Grant Hill. I ended up staying with him. Even though Clifford Robinson was another dude that I wanted to put in this spot. But Grant Hill, I felt like he was more versatile. He kind of gelled our team together. A lot of the younger guys bridging the gap.
Right.
Obviously, I know all about him. 7-time NBA All-Star, first All NBA First Team, 1997. The last NBA Co-Rookie of the Year. 4 All NBA Second Teams. 1996, 98, 99, and 2000. Moving on, shooting guard, reserve shooting guard, and this is the only current player we got, Devin Booker. I chose him because literally, like I said before, our 2 guards are just like, there should be a clown track played whenever you read their names because it was just a line of bums. I even tried to help. I Googled best shooting guards in Suns history. And after like 4, I started not remembering people's names. Like, huh? Who was this guy? He did what? He played for us this long? What?
Wow.
And then the backup point guard, obviously Kevin Johnson. Had to go Kevin Johnson. He brought scoring to the table. He was actually the first. He was actually the first true point guard that I actually really followed because I started liking the Suns early on. Like 88, 89, I started liking the Suns.
I like Kevin Johnson a lot, I like Kevin Johnson.
And that booth on Olajuwon will forever live in my mind, Like I don't give a shit. To me, that was one of the greatest dunks ever. But
Yo, and he had one of the more underrated sneaker commercials ever. That Converse React Juice commercial with En Vogue.
Yeah.
Yo, that commercial was dope. Yo, I remember that. I had the React Juice Converses all black. Yo, those shits was dope. I like those sneakers. Yeah, I ain't gonna front. I like them shits when I had them. But yeah, okay. I like that shit. Tom, you up next? Oh, you got your you did your coach already. You did your coach.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
it's all you.
Okay. So coach, I got Red Holtzman. 6'13" and 43. 2 championships. Wow. Yeah, that's okay.
Damn, yo. 6'13" and 43?
6'13" and 483.
Oh, 483. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm about to
that was
say.
his record. He be coaching from the grave. That was his record.
They would have dug him up, yo. But like, yo, you got to coach. All right. Go ahead.
Put his casket.
Hey man, I need you on the bench, yo. Like,
put his casket on the bench.
Weekend at Holtzman's. That's sad. That's sad. All right, so obviously point guard Walt Frazier.
Yes, sir.
10 seasons.
Wait, this is a start? Is it starters or reserves?
Yes, this is my starters. The seasons I'm gonna name, the number of seasons, and how many they spent with the Knicks.
All right.
10 seasons, 19, 6-6, 2 championships.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting guard, Earl of Pearl, 9 seasons, 16, 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Small forward, Carmelo, 7 seasons, 24, 7 and 3. Power forward, I thought it was gonna be tough, but it's not. It's the fucking Oak, man.
Wow.
10 seasons, 10 and 2. Center, I was tough, but I ended up going with Mr. Nick himself, Patrick Ewing.
Of course.
15 seasons,
15
seasons, 22, 10 and 2.
Good.
6 man, it was a toss up between this guy and J.R. Smith, but I ended up choosing John Starks. 9 years, 14 and 4, 1997 6 man of the year.
Those 2 free throw misses, huh? Didn't sway your decision, huh?
Nah, Starks is my guy. Bernard King. I'm going to my bench. Bernard King. He only played with the Knicks for 4 years. We averaged 26.5, 5 rebounds and 2 assists per game.
Lighten it up.
Then we go into the early days. We're going to Dave DeBusschere. 6 years, 16, 11 and 2, 2 championships, 6-time all defensive first team. Got it.
Man.
Okay, here's one. Richie Guerin.
So all he did was play D.
Yeah. Well, he's famous for the draft shit when we won Ewing. He's like, oh, he's famous for that. Richie Guerin, 8 years, 17, 5 and 5. And I got a trivia question for y'all.
Go.
He retired in 1970. He was only one of 4 players who averaged 17, 5 and 5. Y'all know the other 3?
For the Knicks or
no,
NBA period?
At that time, in 1970.
Jerry West?
He's one.
Oscar Robertson.
That's 2.
Pete Maravich?
No.
17-5. Wait, is it 17-5 and 5 or 17-5 and 6?
17, 5 and 5.
17-5 and 5.
In 1970, at that time. Not
now.
Will?
I was about to say
Will was still playing at the time.
Oh, that was retired by 1970?
Well, West was too, actually. So that doesn't really matter. And so was Big O. It was Bob Cousy, but you know what I mean?
Bob Cousy, okay.
Cousy was 3rd.
Oh, shit.
This is where I had trouble with center, but I ended up picking Ewing, but it's Willis Reed. 10 seasons, 18, 12 and 1. He's the only MVP in Knicks history.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I was like, holy shit, he was. 2 championships.
Damn, yo. What the fuck? All those good New York
season MVP?
You know what? He's right, though.
The only Knicks, 1970, the only season.
Jordan robbed a lot of people of that shit, though, man.
Well,
there's a couple of
cats. In the 70s, though. So, but I mean, Ewing, you know, I mean, but
no. As far as Ewing, I said, yeah, he got robbed. Like Jordan was hanging around a lot of them years when he might have been at least in the conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll be honest with you, yo. if I had to pick between all three of our spots, yeah, I think the Knicks would probably win.
Yeah.
The Knicks they have a bomb squad of talent,
Yeah.
yo.
We got guys to do everything. We got guys to do everything.
Yeah.
So,
like Spreewell ain't make your list, right?
Oh yeah, of course he did.
I thought you were done.
I'm not done yet. I got two more bench guys.
Shit.
I made 12 guys. So my next one is the backup point guard because I needed a backup point guard.
Yeah.
Can y'all guess who y'all think it is?
Chris Childs?
Frank Nitler.
No, not Frankie Smokes.
Rob Strickland?
No, but I was gonna pick him, but no. You're close though. They played on the same team.
Oh, Mark Jackson.
Correct. Yes. 11-8. 7 seasons. 11-8.
Mark Jackson was nice to y'all, yo. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. And last but not least is my boy Spree. 5 seasons. 17-4-3.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked the Knicks. Yeah.
And one coach choked.
That was one coach choked.
PJ. Yo.
What do you think the designation is for that? Is that CC? Like Coach Choke? Coach Choke.
Oh, it's the DMP.
Leads the league in strangulations.
Yeah.
Spree, man, I read something online the other day. His granddaughter got leukemia.
Oh shit!
GoFundMe thing out. His granddaughter's like a year old. She has leukemia.
GoFundMe. That nigga ain't got no money. He broke. Oh,
he's broke.
Yeah.
He's broke, and it ran out all the shit while he's broke on the article.
Damn.
Remember when the T-Wolves tried to sign on that 3-year, $24 million
deal?
Yeah,
I remember.
Like,
and he turned it down. I got a
family to feed.
Yeah, he turned it down. Yeah,
I remember that.
Like, man,
yo.
fuck you, nigga. Get out of here.
Yep. I remember that.
Bro. He was a character.
Dang, yo. Any off the top of your head, we'll go around the room starting with you, Dave. Any honorable mentions on your list that guys that might have been on the cuff? Okay.
Clifford Robinson, JC Kidd for sure. Jason Kidd was the only other guy other than fucking KJ I was flip flopping with. Cedric Sabalas would have been up there. Danny Manning might have had a slot at the 3 as well, but I don't think he played his best years with us. Yeah, there's a couple of my honorable mentions, man. Dan Marley, obviously, yo.
Where Danny Manning? Oh, Danny Manning was with the Mavericks, right? He's with the Mavericks.
Yeah, he was at Mavericks, Clippers. He was with me at one point. Down at
I think the Clippers. Yeah, fucked up knees. His knees is worse than Ewing's.
Yo, he played on every team you could name, yo. Danny Manning, yo. It was like you couldn't have a basketball team. You have to have at least one Danny Manning. At least one.
Yo.
He was a beast in college though.
He was, yo.
What about you, Tom? Any honorable mentions?
Allen Houston, I was gonna put him, but it was between him and Spree, and I was like, I'm taking Spree because Spree can play.
They used to run them out there together.
What about LJ?
Yeah, we did.
LJ,
no. LJ, no, because he wasn't the same guy he was in Charlotte.
Oh yeah.
Nah. Yeah, we ran Spree and Houston out together, but Spree could play the point.
Yeah.
He could play the 3, and he could play the 2.
What about Xavier?
No, he wasn't with us that long. He was only with us like 3 seasons.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. I saw an article that showed Charles Oakley on one, and it was Anthony Mason, and they were like, "Yo,
I was gonna take him. That's my sixth man."
And the caption was like, coming down, when coming, it was like they showed them. It was like when driving to the hole meant your life on the line. It was like, we'll put your life in danger. Yo, it was. I forgot exactly what I had to find it, yo. But yo, it was hilarious. Yo, it was like the two of them was like, yo, if you came down the middle of these niggas, yo, it was not a good business decision.
That was like everybody in the 90s, though, man.
It was, but them two dudes was like, yo, Charles Oakley had a problem. Like he couldn't resist. And I know the Bad Boy Pistons were the same way as well, but
Lane Beer was.
Yeah, Lane Beer. He's like he cut from that type of cloth, yo. But
got it from them. That's where we got that style from.
Yeah, but see, Lane Beer would try to hide it a little bit. He tried to do some little slick shit. Like Charles Oakley didn't care, yo.
Nah, he didn't.
He didn't care. He was like a PJ Brown. Like, PJ Brown, he didn't care. He hit you with Oh, they don't care, yo.
They goons. That's goons.
Yeah. I didn't even have no honorable mentions, to be honest with you. I just was thinking, you know, I mean, there was a couple of people, you know, that could have made my list or whatever, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, listen, we're gonna finish it up today with our scary topic of the afternoon. And that is should women be allowed in our phones? Why you want to be in our phone? You know, he got the holy Bible. This man is an atheist. He's holding the Bible in his hand. We know how serious this topic is based upon that picture right there. I'm gonna make sure I screenshot that later on. But yo, so I'll start it off because I think my answer is going to be pretty safe. Believe it or not, yo, my wife has always had a fingerprint in my phone and has the password to my phone and whatnot or whatever. Not because she never asked me for it. I gave it to her freely. I could care less. I don't really have a whole lot to hide. I'm an old man at this point in time, so you know, if I want to look at some hot chick on Instagram or whatever, I look at it and I show it to Tori, like, yo, you see this? This is what it is. You know, like we just have that relationship. We have that trust factor. If I'm just speaking from personal experience in regards to the situation, I have nothing to hide. I've had conversations with, other females in chat, even ex-girlfriends or whatever the case may be. It's never been anything more than a friendly conversation chat. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. How's the family? This, that, and the other, whatever. And that's the extent of it. You know, it's never been anything disrespectful that I couldn't say in front of my wife in regards to it. She could go through any conversation I've ever had with any person that I've, talked to. It's never been disrespectful or anything that would be on the cusp of being judged as anything more than a friendly conversation to check in and say, hey, how you doing? Because we're still cool. You know what I mean? So, like, for instance, and I talked to Dave about this or whatever, like, me and Natasha, who was my ex-girlfriend, she's somebody that I'm always going to be cool with and we'll, check in with each other from time to time, which hasn't happened in quite a while, but, either way, we still follow each other on social medias and stuff like that or whatever, but, it's nothing but respectful conversation whatsoever. So, do they need to be in our phones? No, nobody needs to be in your personal phone, I guess, but is it a problem? No. So I don't know if the context of the question is whatever, but yeah, go ahead.
So question, Jay.
Yeah.
Right? So if Tori, mind you, Tori, I know Tori loves you. You love Tori, whatever. Right. And you said she gets a fingerprint to your phone, but if every day you got home from work, she was like, phone first. Before you do anything, give me a phone. Every day.
Yeah.
You said just a couple minutes ago, oh yeah, that's not a problem. That wouldn't be a problem that every day she feels like she needs to check your phone?
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. But that's different. So it is a problem if she checks your phone. But that's a different situation though, because again, like, is it a problem? No, but then it becomes a deeper conversation as well. Like, why is this happening? Like, why every time I come in the house, you're not saying, hey, babe, how was your day? The first thing you're saying is, here, give me your phone. Like that, we need to have a deeper conversation then.
So think about this, right? So if she does it once, it's okay. But if she does it every day, it's a problem?
If she does what?
If she does it once, it's okay. But every day, it's a problem?
If she does it once, I ain't gonna lie, I probably wouldn't even think nothing of it. Like, in my mind, I'm just like, all right, here. Like, I mean, like, and I guess you're saying how she's asking me. Like,
no. What I'm saying is, like, if she's asking every day, it's because I'm gonna assume here. But she's asking every day. I'm assuming it's because she's suspicious.
I would assume the same thing. Yeah.
So if she asks once, she's also suspicious. Like, the police don't have to question me about a murder 5 times in a row for me to be like, oh, hold the fuck up. They're looking at me for this. All I need to do is get questioned once.
Right.
Like, that's it. So if I ever come home and man is like, let me see your phone.
Nah, that's not true. That's not true, Dave. Because think about it. If you go in, if you walk by the police station and the cop says, hey, where were you 5 minutes ago? Were you around the corner? And you were like, nah, I was over here. And then he's like, all right, whatever. But if you go down the next block and then that same cop comes, no way.
All my life, if that ever happened to me, the moment I turn the corner, I'm throwing my weed, whatever shit I got. as fast as I
Word
can.
up.
I'm waiting for him to come around for that follow-up question. Hold on there, guy. Sit tight. You ever hear sit
Right.
tight, by the way? You go to
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah, of
I
You go to
course.
fucking
Of
jail, bro.
course. That
The
just
word
means that
sit
they didn't
tight.
believe whatever you told
To
them.
me, the word sit tight means lock this motherfucker out the moment he come back, catch him by surprise, get away. But
I'm
nah,
just
what I'm
saying,
saying is,
yeah, go ahead. No, what I was saying was that if he meets you on the next block after he asks you the question once and says, "Hey, you sure you want?" Now I'm like, I already told you it wasn't it wasn't me, but all right, but yeah, all right. So go ahead.
so yeah, so when you're like, oh yeah, she has the thing to my phone. If she ever does check your phone and you ever see her going through your text messages, you're not gonna say anything. I'm assuming you're not gonna be like, "Why are you going through my text?"
No, to be honest with you, because me personally, there's nothing to find. So it's like, whatever.
Okay, I understand. There's nothing to find.
Right.
I understand that. There's nothing. There'll be nothing to find, especially in your fucking phone. But
Thanks.
no. I mean, because you're like a fucking nice guy and shit. That's why.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm serious. But the fact that she's looking, it doesn't bother you. It doesn't be like, damn, yo, she doesn't trust me. Even for
Right, so
a fucking
I give you an example or whatever.
Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. I don't know.
No, maybe not. You might not be, because again, like I said, it is subjective to the situation. Like, all right, everybody knows, I'm divorced once and married twice. So my ex, when our situation was very murky at that point in time in regards to us having to deal with each other for the sake of our child and all that stuff or whatever, of course, it's going to be normal for like Tori to want to see, like, what are y'all talking about? What conversations are y'all having in regards to, it may not even have anything to do with, with us, me and him or whatever, maybe just about the kid or whatever the case may be. So like, like sometimes she'll want to see my text messages towards her just to see what the hell we talking about in regards to the situation or whatever. Could have nothing to do with anything, but it could also be subjective, like, oh, what y'all talking about? Why y'all, whatever. Because now we're friendly, we're good. Me and my ex, we have a very decent relationship at this point in time or whatever. Finally, both parties have grown up and have learned how to co-parent, which for the sake of the child is awesome. Where it doesn't have to be, my son doesn't have to pick between people and not like one more than the other and blah 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 and all that good stuff. So, but again, from her perspective, she has to deal with that extra dynamic of another woman that's gonna be in my life for the rest of my child's life and whatnot or whatever. So, or for the rest of our lives, we're gonna be linked together at that point in time. And I don't have that same situation with her. So she doesn't have anybody that I have to, look at, well, who is she talking to? Why is she talking to him or whatever? It's not the same situation. It's an uneven playing field. So I feel like for me, she earned that right to be able to, if she wants to look at the situation and just make sure that everything is on the up and up, she should have that right, to be honest with you, because I don't have to deal with that same dynamic that she has to deal with on my end. She has to deal with all of my baggage that I came into this relationship and this marriage with, which I don't have to deal with. Now, she signed up for that. That's on her. But ultimately, it still is, I feel like it's a right for her to be able to access whatever she needs to access if that makes her feel comfortable. I don't think she does. If she does, I don't know about it. No matter to me, because I can care less. Look, I ain't been called in front of the judge yet. So at this point in time, I think I'm good. But yeah.
But no, that's my point, right? You haven't done anything, as far as I know. Like how to put this? If I was describing you to a whole bunch of some friends that didn't know you, I'd be like, "Yo, Jay is like the most fucking stand-up guy you could possibly fucking get, especially when it comes to your marriage. Yeah. Like, you're by far the most religious friend that I have. Right. Like, your family's built around that shit. Mm-hmm. So you're the last person in the world I would ever expect to be like, oh shit, you got shit to hide in your phone, whatever the fuck. Right. So I would think that trust is there all the time. I would think that trust is like impermeable.
Yeah.
Like.
Right. Oh, so in other words, why would she need to look at all of these things if I'm this religious person and
exactly
on the trust of God and all of that good stuff or whatever. Yeah, but people ain't stupid either. Like at the end of the day, we're all human, and everybody falls short of the glory of God and all of that religious terminology that I can speak at you 100 times over. But we'll save that for something else. But ultimately, we're still humans, and the flesh is always going to be weaker than the spirit. So regardless of the fact, inquiring minds are always going to want to know that everything is on the up and up, even if they trust the fact that it is. Nobody wants to be blindsided, because I'm going to be honest with you. We live in a society now where it's crazy out here in the world, and people doing crazy stuff that you think are stand-up people, and this is going from clergy to congressmen to whoever. So, as much as we trust each other, you still have to at least still be conscious of the fact that, yeah, your man may be great, but he could still be a total tool and an asshole, and he could be on some wild ass shit on the back end of it. Just saying, whatever. But that's, again, you don't ever want to be blindsided either. So, right. Me personally, I just don't personally care about stuff like that. I don't think my brain is geared to deal with all of that stuff. So I'd probably be blindsided, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not paying attention. Me personally, it's just not my nature. It's never been y'all know me. It's not my nature. I'll just leave. I'm just gonna walk. Like at the end of the day, like, all right, well, lesson learned. She played me, and I'm gone, and that's just that. But ultimately, I can't. It would hurt, but again, I have to move forward in regards to that. So yeah. So
I don't think you ever have to worry about that happening.
I didn't say I would ever be worried about it. No.
Yeah, I'm saying that. That's the thing. Like, you'll never have to check her phone. She'll never have to check your phone.
Right.
But do you think how much of a fucking roadblock do you think it creates in people's marriages where the trust factor ain't all the way there?
Huge roadblocks, because again, marriage is built on trust. So you're supposed to blindly trust one another. But I'm telling you, man, that's easier said than done in a lot of people's cases. It just is.
Hold up. So let me ask you. No, wait, blindly trust. Wait, what?
Yeah, huh? You should be able to trust that person with your life. I mean, that's the institution of marriage. But again, you still can't be boo-boo the fool either. So I mean, it's a line that's hard to straddle, I guess, in certain situations. Like, I think me personally, I blindly trust, because again, like I said, I'm not really doing a whole lot of checking. I've had situations. Don't get me wrong. One time, I think this guy tried to slide in her message. He said some weird shit. It was some dude that she might have went out with years ago or whatever, and he said some weird shit, like, how, like, all right, put it this way, you got a girlfriend, and the guy, how, like, all right, it was a series of pictures, right, that we had posted of a trip that we had taken. I think we were in Maryland or something like that, right? And he only liked the picture of her. He only liked her picture, right? He didn't like the group. On Facebook, you can like the whole post, but then you can like the picture separately. Yeah. Oh shit!
Hey, Tori.
Yeah.
Hey, Tori.
I'm Tori.
Yo, that just freaked me out.
Yeah, you said that was gonna happen too.
Yo, how did she get those?
I don't even know, yo.
Wow, yo.
I got the things in my ear. I can't hear nothing outside.
I wonder how long she was standing there.
I don't even know. We'll find out.
So the
replay this came back. What the hell did I say?
The moment he said, "We're done with this NBA, we're moving on to this," she just rose up like.
Well, guys, that's our show for today. Yo, so no, he liked her picture, just her picture, the picture that only had her in it. He didn't like the group pictures. He didn't like the thing as a whole. He liked her damn picture. So I was like, yo, fuck this. Yo, I ain't gonna. So
how come you don't like me? How come you don't like me?
Yeah, man. What's wrong with me? Why you don't like me, yo? What's what I
do, man? Shit.
So, anyway, and I don't know if he made a comment. He might have said something, some little slick thing or whatever. Mind you, this nigga married too. I don't know if he was married at the time, but he was definitely engaged or in a relationship or whatever at the time. But either way, I ain't letting that shit ride. So look, his brother is a good friend of ours. Matter of fact, at the wedding, at the wedding, Tom's person that he walked down with, Chesney, in the wedding party or whatever, is her husband's twin brother. That's who the guy was. So the girl you walked with at the wedding or whatever, her husband's twin brother was the person that was sliding in her little messages and saying all this weird stuff or whatever, right? So I went straight to him. I didn't go straight to him because I didn't know the dude, and it was probably just going to be an ugly situation anyway. So I went to her brother, to his brother or whatever, and was like, "Yo, I can show you the message I sent him because I probably still got it." I told him I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna kill this nigga, yo." Like, so, like, you need to tell this. You better tell him right now. Like, don't even talk to my wife no more. Period. Don't even talk to her. Because at this point, you know, you doing some offhand weird shit, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna end well for your brother. I told her shit now, I'm gonna fuck your brother up. You know, that's pretty much what it was.
Jay, you blew an opportunity, man. You had a twin right there. You could have fucked him up, and the brother would have got fucked up all the way across the world.
Does that really work though? Like, if you hit the twin, does the other guy really feel it?
Only one way to find out, bro.
I seen that shit on Unsolved Mysteries back.
Only one way to find out.
There's cases of that shit.
Laid this motherfucker out.
Well, I mean, at the time, I didn't really have a problem with the brother, so I'd feel kind of bad about hitting him. But I mean, if it was going to solve the situation,
what's the Bible say? The sins of the brother or the sins of the father?
Sins of the father. They ain't got nothing to do with the brother.
The brother. He did his own shit.
Yo. So anyway, that was the one like kind of weird situation or whatever. Other than that, I mean, my wife has talked. She's people have tried to reach out to her conversation wise or whatever, exes and things of that nature. She handles that on her own. I don't check up on her and none of that stuff. That's her business.
That's that trust, bro. That's trust.
I mean, again,
you trust her to handle that shit.
Look, it could be trust. It could be laziness. It could be a lot of different things. I'm like, from a relationship standpoint, I'm 40 at this point in time. I was 35 when I got married. I knew at that point in time I was done with any type of fuckery or nonsense that may have ever been a part of my life, which really never was my life. I've always been a relationship dude. I've never really been in, like, y'all have done y'all, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but for me, I've always been in a relationship. Every time y'all see me, I had a girlfriend. It was never really, you know, those type of situations. So, I mean, you know, for me, I've been built for the relationship role, so to speak. But, you know, situations happen. I remember, Tammy, who I was with for 4 years, I remember she told me after the fact that she cheated on me. I was like, oh, all right. After it happened, you know, I mean, this is well after the fact. And, you know, I said I never cheated on her, even though I treated her like trash. I treated her like crap, like, for real, like garbage, like hot garbage. I treated her like, seriously. So, but I never cheated on her, and it's in a song. You know, I had a song once upon a time called "This Is My Girl History." You know, and it was a dope song, and it explained a lot about a lot of my relationships. But, you know, again, trust was something that I never really worried about, because again, people gonna do what they gonna do. You can't stop that. You know, when people worry about those type of situations or whatever, you setting yourself up. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that's the hardest part, being accountable for your own bullshit, like your own shit. Everything else will work itself out, whether for the good or the bad. As long as you can say that, at the end of the day, I did all I could. That's it. And I'll be honest with you, this relationship, this marriage, and probably my previous marriage, I feel like I had done everything I possibly could. It didn't work out, but I feel like I've done everything that I can do, you know, to be at least a stand-up person as far as my marriage is concerned. Everything else, you just let the chips fall there, man. So that's it. What do y'all think? I mean, in regards to the phone situation, Tom?
Well, shit. I mean, that shit was 50% of the demise of my last relationship. But I'm not gonna go too off the rails. I'm just gonna give you two. I'm gonna just give you an example of one thing that happened. Right? Yeah. Remember when I was in the hospital last year?
Yeah.
So she in the room. She goes through my phone. She's like, "Who the fuck is this?" I'm like, "It's, you know what I mean? It's Avi. You know what I mean? Me and Avi, you know what I mean? Me and Avi's like best friends."
Right.
I'm like, I explain her situation. Oh, no. She's like, fuck you.
In the
hospital?
Out the room.
Yes, nigga. Yes, nigga, when I got a roommate.
Wait,
And that
yo,
nigga-
hold up. And on top of that, you had that window looking right at your ship. That one-way window. Was that the
Yeah.
time? Yeah, we had the
Second
one-way
time.
window at the nurse's station right there.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, the
That.
nurse's station. They might be like,
Yo. So she walks out, right? And I look at my roommate. He there with his girl. His girl there. They just looking at me like, yo, I was so embarrassed, bro. So
Wow.
yo, right? So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. It'll blow over.
question,
Yeah.
time out, question. I know our assorted Renaissance history. Raquel's never met Avi, ever? They've never crossed paths?
They never crossed.
That's amazing. Holy
Well,
shit.
no, it's really not, because when they started talking to each other, Avi and them had already moved to Wisconsin already at that point.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
They've been gone.
All
They
right.
had been gone for a while.
But after a while, she was like, all right. She kind of softened on the idea. She was like, all right, you can talk to her. But the point is, I think in the back of her mind, she always felt some type of way. Because she told me, she was like, I'm jealous of her and all of this shit. I'm like, so you don't want me to talk to I can't have any female friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's basically what she was getting. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry. I'm loyal. And she was around when you, like, weren't. And sorry, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to work. But it's like, yo, it's just like Little Scrappy said on Love and Hip Hop. If you're looking for something, you're going to find it.
That was where I was going the whole time, Jay. I was trying to, I was gonna ask Tom the same thing, but that's kind of where I was leading it to.
Got you.
Is there's some chicks that will misconstrue shit.
Right.
For some females, they need video evidence of you doing it. They need corroborating witnesses. Other chicks just need a name. Other chicks just need a random ass telemarketing phone number that you picked up, and it's like the call lasted a minute 3, and then they're like, so who the fuck was you talking to for a minute 3?
So let me
when I call them back, how come they block their number?
So let me answer that question, because a lot of people don't realize, and I made this mistake, and y'all know I made this mistake. Y'all were right there with me when I made the mistake. But there's a difference between my first marriage and my second marriage, and the difference between those two is simply time. Like the amount of time that one takes to manifest and really truly get to know your partner, it means everything. Like it means everything to the relationship. So my first marriage, we got married after knowing each other for 6 months. I'd never met this girl before. I didn't know anything about her, didn't know anything about her background, about any of her history, anything of that nature. 6 months, we're married. I met her in June, we were married in February. So from that situation to now, the marriage that I'm in now, we met each other in February. We knew each other because we went to the same church. So I was at that church, which is another difference. We met in church. So you know, there's a dynamic to that as well. I'm not saying it's everything, because a lot of people meet in church and their relationship is trash, it's shit. So don't think that God or church has anything to do with it. It's the two people that connect and figure it out for themselves. It has nothing to do with that. I'm not saying it's not a part of it, but it's going to be very little about it if you're not willing to put in the work. So we met in church or whatever. We have been engaged after I want to say a year and some change, and then got married maybe 3 years or 2.5 years or so after we had met. So and during that time frame, we lived together first, did everything completely out of turn and out of the eyes of God, the way we technically should have been doing things. But guess what? I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care, because at that point, I needed to know that like our everyday situation was going to work for us dynamic wise or whatever. I never lived with the other person that I was married to. You know, whatever. We just were infatuated with each other, and more or less probably a lust situation more than love or whatever the case may be. So I think I was, you know, I think I had some preconceived notion of what I wanted. I thought she fit that bill. She didn't. And, you know, that was that. So, and it was all a mistake. So again, knowing that person is a huge part of the battle. So when you talk about, you know, having or being comfortable with, you know, like Raquel having a problem with Avi or whatever, you know your mate. Know that person to the point where that you know that if they talking to somebody, it ain't on no, ain't on nothing but a friendship level or what have you. So she either didn't take that time to make sure that she knew you well enough to know that that was not your intention, and that caused her to cause that scene and not trust and what have you or whatever. And I'm not saying that people who trust and know their mate don't want them talking to each other, because that's another topic in regards to female friends and male friends on the other side or whatever. Is it okay for your girl, for your wife, your fiance, what have you or whatever, to have male friends or whatever, and blah 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 or whatever? I'm on the fence. I don't know really which way to turn on the situation, because that's what it is. But again, all of that stuff matters to a certain extent. So I don't know. There's a lot of good information there, but I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's like man. I don't remember the last time man has checked my phone. If she did, I go to sleep like this, like a little fucking bitch baby. So she could be checking my phone every night for all I know. I don't remember the last time I seen her doing it, but I can tell you, I know I'm not doing anything. I know there's nothing in there.
Right.
But when she picks my phone up, my heart just fucking starts free falling. And I'm like, the reason why is because I'm like, something in there could be misconstrued. Something in there could be old. Something in there could be anything. You really don't know how anybody's going to take anything. Interpretation, especially when you're going through someone's life,
right,
really, really, really looks out of place. I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right? Like last year or the year before, I found some phone number in her phone. I was trying to get Ricardo's number, for obvious reasons. I was trying to get his number. So I was going through her phone, and I seen this number for a name that said Ricardo. But me and phone numbers, usually I memorize them. Like once I hear it, it's locked for life. I saw a number that I didn't recognize at all. I'm like, 973. Who the fuck is this? Or why he texting her about money? Talking about he gonna have her money. I'm like, hold the fuck up. You know who it was? Because I was about to spaz, but luckily I didn't. But you know who the fuck it was? Because I had my spaz. Yo, you know how before they get home, you're like, you in the mirror, shit, practicing.
Yeah, you practicing.
Oh yeah,
it.
boom.
Yeah.
Who this? Like,
was it Rick?
Huh? No. It was her tax preparer, yo. Telling her that he was sending her a fucking check. But she ain't saying Ricardo tax preparer. It just said Ricardo. Had it said Ricardo tax preparer, I want to flip the fuck out at all. Right. So when you see something in there, and now mind you, that's a name. That's just a name. That's a situation. But any kind of conversation you have, anything, when that phone gets open, everything's under fucking scrutiny, and everything is under that person's interpretation of what's cool and what's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think if you're with somebody and you're willing to say, yo, I'm gonna just get vulgar here for a second. I don't know, maybe you can bleep this later, but if you're gonna allow a motherfucker to stick their shit up in you, all right, you shouldn't be checking their phone. I'll be dead serious. You trust them enough to put something inside your fucking body, or for you to open your mouth and put something inside your fucking body of theirs, that you should be like, I just trust them. I think they're fucking with somebody else. If you think they fucking with somebody else, you shouldn't be doing that at all. Right? I don't check man's phone for that reason anymore. Like I didn't even check it for that time. I wasn't checking it for that reason.
Right.
Like you remember our first few years were tumultuous. Yeah. Like it was a will they won't they situation. Like will they ever stay together? Will not? Once we got past all that and we established this like level of trust that we're on now,
right.
Like yeah, I trust her in everything. If I'm on train tracks, I trust that she's gonna get to me in time, no matter where the fuck she is in the world. Right. I trust a whole bunch of shit. But when she pick up that phone, I'll be like, get ready to explain. I gotta be ready to explain everything in that fucking phone, even though ain't nothing in there. Right. But I found that, and this goes. We were discussing this the other night. That's how this conversation came up. You make the matter worse. You have to, as much as you hate it, as much as you hate giving up your phone, you make matters worse if you say, "Nah, I'm not showing you my shit."
Hell yeah!
You make matters so much worse, yo. Because yo, if you're doing shit, I can understand that. I could be like, okay, yeah, he got to go to the car, you got to hide that shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not doing anything and you're like, still no, I'm not going to show you. Dude, that just creates suspicion.
But that, going back to the point you said earlier, if you asking me every day to see my phone,
Nah,
then you don't need
Nah.
you don't need at that point you don't need to be together because he obviously does not trust you. Basically, what you're doing at that point is you're looking for your daily argument. Now, what am I gonna fuck with him about today? He looks like he had a good day. He's smiling on his face. He looks like he's about to go play some 2K. Can't have that.
Yo,
give me your phone. Give me your phone. Who the fuck is mom? How dare you? Who's this mom chick? Fucking mom, you better tell mom I'm gonna kick her ass.
Yeah. What did you put her name in there as mom, but you really turned it around and it spells mom.
Yo, you know what's crazy? And I shouldn't even say this. I shouldn't even say this on air, but I'm gonna say it. It got to the point where, and come on, y'all know me. Like I got a lot of girls as friends, like platonic girls.
We all do. But we'll never admit it.
Yeah, but it got to the point where before, like I see her, I have to delete all the text messages, even though I was doing nothing.
That's fuck. See, that's
and I had to block them, so they want to text me like, "Who's that?" I'm like, I'm tired of doing this every time I see them.
Now, if one of my female friends ever texts me or anything like that, dude, I leave it. I leave it there, and I know it's fucked up that I'm leaving it there. It doesn't happen hardly ever.
Right.
Hardly ever. I mean, almost. I don't remember the last time it has happened. But if it does, and she does happen to go through the phone and she sees it there, like, and this can totally happen. And this is one of the worst things. You have a regular stand-up, straight-up friendly conversation with, let's just say Angie hit me up. It says, "Oh, how you doing?" And we have a 5-minute conversation, right? If I delete that conversation, regardless of what the fuck was said, it looks fucking guilty. Especially when she says, or somewhere in the future, Amanda and Angie could be in the same room and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, I texted Dave like last week." And Amanda checked my phone 2 days ago and I saw no text. Like, really?
It always comes back. It always comes back.
So, one thing I've learned though in relationships, it's truth or nothing, bro. It's truth or a matter of time before you get caught. Ain't no getting away with the shit. It's just a matter of time before you get caught, yo.
Yeah, at first it was, and then after a while, I just got tired of having to defend myself. It's just annoying, bro. Like, why should I have to do that?
Yo, that's because she's already know how she's gonna take it. It doesn't matter what you guys said. It could have been like, "Oh, thank you for changing my tire," and it would have been like, "Why you change the tires for that bitch? You never changed the tire for me." It don't matter if she'd have had it flat.
Right.
It won't matter if she'd have had it flat. You just never did that for her, but you're doing that for another female. Yeah. So basically, my advice for anybody going through that situation is if your other significant other wants to check your phone, let them check it. Especially if it ain't something going on. If it is something going on, give her your phone, take her phone, and call that bitch that's in that phone and be like, "I can move in with you." She in the middle of taking my phone right now. Sorry, but that's just for real. I mean, because at that point, you can't deny them that. Like at the same time, we're all here beating our chest about trust and shit. Like, she has to trust me, and you got to trust me. But what?
I did my dirt, but come on, man. Like, I never did nothing bad to her ever.
No,
y'all know what she done to me.
Well, see, Tom, you could have relieved yourself from a lot of stress. You're an Android person or whatever. You see the phone. All you do, you go here. You see this right here? If you look real close, let me see. Now, I don't know if it's coming up on camera. Hold on. Let me see. There it is. Okay.
Oh, so folder? Yeah.
Yeah. See,
I don't need to do it no more, so I'm good.
So that right there, that would save you a whole lot of stress.
Hi, Tori.
Oh well, yeah. Again, she has the fingerprint. So all of that stuff, she already knows about that. So, and I ain't gonna lie, that stuff has other things.
I was gonna bring that up, but I'm not. I'm not gonna bring that up.
That has other things. Seriously, I mean, it is 100% like legit. Like it literally is a separate. It's literally a separate phone in the same phone.
Yeah, I have it. I use
Yeah,
it for like passwords.
If you have a Samsung, you have it. If you have a Samsung phone, you have it.
I use it for like passwords and
And
stuff.
you use it for everything: photographs, videos, contacts, text messages, internet sites. You want to watch Pornhub all day? Go to your secure folder. It will not mix with your regular internet. It does not. So if you were to pull up the same thing on your regular internet, it won't pull it up. It'll be something totally different. Yeah, I'm
Porn
teaching.
tip.
I don't know.
Porn tips.
What?
Number 612. Jay's
Look.
porn tips.
Go ahead, show yourself. Yeah.
So what you have?
Hey, Tori.
I'm telling them about the secure folder. Duh. Like, you know,
He's telling us, he's giving us good porn tips. What else?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm just saying that's where you put that stuff though. But hey, you know, just letting you know. And y'all out there in, you know, YouTube land and, you know, Spotify land and all that good stuff, y'all need to know how to hide stuff. Get yourself an Android. Apple sucks. We'll talk about that on another.
Well, Jay, I'm telling, as a practice, but just you can't come and tell people the secret and then tell them go ahead and use the secret on other people. You just told the whole fucking world. So now anybody who had a chance of ever hiding anything in the secure folder is now fucked.
Well, then you have to then you need to create another secure folder inside of the secure folder.
Tomorrow, divorce rates go up 700%. Divorce rate up 700% across the U.S. on the podcast.
My bad.
Shit. All droid users. Yo, all men using droids.
Damn. Yo, for real. Yo, stop goes through the roof. Apple declines. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, listen, man. We got anything else on this topic?
No, I'm
nope.
Good.
Stay safe. Stay loyal, man. And stay safe. That's it.
Yeah.
Stay loyal. Stay safe. It's the best.
For sure. Listen, man. It's been a great show, man. I'm happy, Tom. You're good. You're safe. You're still feeling good. I think our teams are good, but I ain't gonna lie. If I had to vote, I'd give the Knicks the nod. Yo, they have a pretty dope squad, and a collection of talent. And
our franchise has been around a lot longer too. So
yeah, that's true.
Since
that's
the
true.
40s. So I mean,
yeah. So, but I like the Knicks roster. I think we did a good job breaking down all of that stuff. I love the fact of the errors and stuff like that you guys put in. That's pretty dope, and all the accomplishments for each player as well. And of course, y'all bitches, stay out our phone. Stay the fuck out our phone.
Views expressed by Jason Scurry are the views of Jason Scurry alone. Any other indication of broadcast.
Yeah. Yo, listen, man, we'll try to do better next time. Until then, we're gonna be out of here. I'm probably go drop into Verdant somewhere, man, and shoot me a couple of people. But yeah, I might be dropping with you, man. I promise my brothers I play with them, but if they're not on, see you in Verdant. Let me know. All right, fellas, man. Y'all be safe.
Talk
y'all later.
Peace.